Hello, everybody. Jeff Mason with SimpleBiz360.com. That's SimpleBiz360 podcast coming to you from my basement. Yes, we have converted the basement into a studio, and we are coming to you today from there for the first time. So any adjustments we'll certainly make after this show. But hey, I want to start off and just say we are in tumultuous times. Absolutely. There's no question about it. So I want to start right off by just saying, I hope you and your families are well. Hope everybody's doing okay during COVID-19. And I want to just do this shout out. I know there's plenty of depression out there. There's plenty of people who might be hurting. And I have battled in my life with demons of alcoholism and still have to battle that. So I just want to say, if anyone out there, if you are in need of help, do not do this on your own. Please, please. Call somebody, call your most reputable church you can find in your area and start there. Just start somewhere, get some help. Michael Phelps is doing some great public service commercials about just talking to therapists on television I've seen. And honestly, there's a lot of people who are hurting right now. So I just want to start off the episode by saying that. But we are in real tough times. And I want to start speaking to that condition and letting you know what we're going to do from now until July 2nd, a couple days before the July 4th holiday. Anyway, we're going to call this episode, we're going to start by talking about reentry and then remote and then rebuilding. And I want to just get right into this and give you a little snippet. Reentry, there are 33 million people who've lost their jobs. 33 million, it's astronomical. The competition for new jobs, once we get this thing back and rolling, is going to be ferocious. There is no other word for it. You've never seen anything like it. It's not interviewing like you're used to. It's resumes to the tune of a ream of paper for one job. That's what you're going to see. So you need to brush up on skills. You need to get yourself inundated in some best practices when it comes to resume writing, when it comes to interview tips, when it comes to getting yourself ready for that big interview. So just keep that in mind. But that's the re-entry into this marketplace. It's going to be a wild ride. So we'll touch on that a little bit today and down the road. Then we have this whole remote situation. I am convinced that remote workplace will escalate in proportions we can't even imagine. Cubicle concourses across the nation, the third floor holding 45 cubicles here, the first floor holding 100 cubicles there. Those are never going to reopen. So many companies are going to go to remote work conditions. With that comes many challenges. Many of you have never worked remote. There's challenges to overcome. There are scheduling, time, motivation, how you balance your life. There's just a lot of different things going on. We're going to try to bring in some voices for you on occasion to sprinkle in some of their advice, to talk about how they have remoted. I've remoted for 13 years straight. So I have a lot of things that I can add to as well. But, we'll call on some people who have done it and just get little tidbits here and there. But we want to speak to that condition a little bit and make sure we talk about that and then rebuild. The last I could tell, I think the last SBA information I was able to glean from the 2010 census was somewhere in the neighborhood of, let's call it 500,000 new companies form every year and 500,000 close, roughly one for one. I think we're going to see somewhere in the tune of 1.5 million people, easily a million. I'm going to say 1.5 million, maybe even more, dip into some of their savings, some of their financial resources, and take a stab at running businesses and trying to run businesses. And that's great. And there's some issues with that too. We want to make sure we talk about, but these are times, these are waters, these are rapids that we've never, ever seen before. We don't know really what's coming in terms of the workplace. We can prognosticate, we can look to all these so-called experts, we can talk about it and yak about it till we're blue in the face. But here's what I'm going to leave you with. Action will replace, and action will allow you to navigate the rapids. Get yourself prepared. Go to the job gym. Get ready at the job gym for what's coming. And I want to do my part. I really, really want to try and help you. I do not have all the answers. I never will. I never did. But I'm a voice that has some answers. I have some input. I've been down this road as a recruiter responsible for hiring 65 people. I've learned some of these ropes. I want to share with you. You take it or leave it. It's up to you. But the next couple episodes are going to start focusing in on these three things: reentry, remote, and rebuild. So let's zip back to reentry and just talk about this a little bit. So, again, it's not going to be like the old days when, you're going to go interview like you used to. There are going to be people that are going to be savagely prepared. They're going to be role played prepared. They're going into these things wanting to come out with the job. They're one of 120 applicants. They want the job. They want to pay the bills for their family. They want to get their career back on track. You're going to face a different crowd when you go for these jobs. I'm telling you, please listen to me. Please listen to me. It's going to happen. You need to go to the job interview and job resume gym. Start getting your stuff squared away. We don't have all the answers for this either, but what we can tell you is proper preparation will allow you to compete at an extremely high level in these situations. And that's what you want to do. You want to be able to get into that, first of all, get into the interview mix. And there's a filtering process that starts with resumes. And I'll tell you right off the bat, as a recruiter for many years, if I saw a resume that was for a person who was in the workforce for 10 years or less, and it was over one piece of paper, I had no other choice but to throw it out. I didn't read the content, never even glanced at the content. If it was 2 pages, it went in the wastebasket. It was my filtering agent. I had to start somewhere. All these companies have to start somewhere. Is it pleasing to the eye? There's going to be some people that are interviewing for jobs, and they're going to look at that resume and they're going to say, did this person write this wondering what it would look like perception-wise to me when I look at this resume? And they're going to say, it doesn't look good. I don't want anything to do with it. And just off appearance alone, they're going to start to filter out. There's going to be different filtering agents. Trust me when I tell you this. So there's some tips to writing resumes that are pleasing to the eye, that use the right vocabulary. You want to use the right past tense action verbs. You want to avoid echoing. And I echo sometimes. The last podcast I did, I must have echoed the word simple, 9 times. But you can't echo in a resume. You can't have the same word show up, 4 or 5 times. You shouldn't really have it show up more than a couple, maybe once at best, if you're really a good revisionist and you want to get down into the weeds on it. So there is some art to putting together a nice resume. Now, as far as the interview skills go, let's say you now get to the interview stage. You were accepted and you get invited to the interview. This is where you have to use some resources and tools that you maybe didn't have to use in such a aware posture. I don't know how else to say it, but now you're going up against the very best of the best. You're going up against people that are clamoring for livelihood. It's survival of the fittest. It's going to be. I'm not trying to be, negative Nelly here. I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to be real with you. This is what's going to happen. So what do? Well, you role play interview questions. You do. I know so many of you will hear it and go, I'm going to poo-poo that idea. Listen, you have to get your verbal skills, your response times, your ability to flip into a 1-part, 2-part, 3-part answer effectively. I was associated with an example interview process that was called behavioral example interviewing. I call it application example interviewing, but there's some very, very good sound advice within this AEI model that equips you with ways to answer with examples. And I have 65 of them that I've put together in a list. Now, the other thing with that is you are going to want to separate yourself from the pack by proving you've done what you claim to have done. There are way too many, I'm just going to straight up, way too many bullcrappers out there that are just going to try to sling and fling a bunch of crap. And you know what? There's going to be some recruiters and some interviewers and some human resource people that bite off on it. But I'm sick and tired of people telling me that they've done this or that. Don't they know it's a pretty transparent cyberspace anymore? You can go look up people and find out what they really have done. So those days are gone. You going in there and just flinging it are done. You've got to be able to back up what you've done. I'm sorry about the shaky screen here. I'm leaning on the table, so I apologize. Learning how to be a cellar dweller podcaster. So, what you have to do is you've got to back up the claims you make so that it's believable. You bridge that gap of unbelief to belief. If you remember, if you've watched any of these episodes, if you've listened to us, we talked about evidence defeats disbelief, demonstrations, examples, facts, exhibits, testimonials, and statistics. Analogies is in there as well. I forgot the A. But you want to bring this evidence portfolio with you. To bring it with you, you have to assemble it. Start finding things, start putting things in a 3-ring binder you can walk in an interview with. Don't think it's funny. Don't think it's going to be looked at and frowned on. It's not. What you're doing is you're proving to that person across the desk that you did what you did. I've had something in my career that people said I didn't do. I have the email from the chairman of the board that actually says, thank you for this. It's approved. Yes, let's roll ahead. So, all those other people out there taking credit for it, I got the goods. And I'm willing to share it, and I'm willing to put it across the table. Why? That sets me apart. Who does it set me apart from? It sets me apart from this. All these other people that are trying to get that job. Trust me, it works. Trust me, it works. Evidence defeats disbelief. So you want to start putting that together and assembling it and getting comfortable with how to use it. Seriously, it's something that will benefit you greatly. Now, if you go to our homepage on SimpleBiz360.com, we have a product out there called NJAB, New Job Assistance Bundle. And what we give to you in this bundle is 10 resume tips, 15 interview tips, 20 trait channels so you understand what recruiters are looking for in terms of, what kind of traits are they trying to hone in on for certain work. So we talk about 20 of those. We give those to you. We give you some basic word ideas to use. Stay away from weak words in resume. Great is an example of a weak word. It stinks. It's not, get it out of there if the word great's in there. But we talk about some of these things, and then we give you 65 application example interview questions that you can role play with and you can get comfortable with. And it's within that 20 trait channels that we're talking about. Why is this so important? This is so vitally important because it allows you to get prepared. Now, if you have a weak questioner and they're not asking you to give examples, my gosh, knock your competition out and start to give examples of how you've done something you said you did. Give them an example. So this is reentry. The reentry into this marketplace is like none other. NJAB is $20. I have a bundle on there that's the NJAB 2, which includes my book. And I will throw in the book for another $10. The book is $18.95. So for $30, you'll get all the interview and resume information emailed to you. And you will also get a copy of the book. I will send it to your house. No shipping charges are included in that. There's no shipping charges. I cover the shipping on that. And I will get that to your house for you to read. Then you get a 15-minute phone conversation. I'm a nice guy. I'll probably end up giving you, 30 minutes for sure. But, it's designed for 15 minutes. I want to help you. I want to equip you. I want you to remember that we tried to give you some tools to help. So it's NJAB, New Job Assistance Bundle, $10. NJAB 2 is with my book, SimpleBiz360, Timeless Business Tools, and that will be $30. So just consider that. You can also find them on the product section of our website as well. So that covers, reentry, if you will. So now remote. One of the things you're going to have to be very conscientious about in your interview and in your reentry into the marketplace is the whole questioning around, are you remote worthy? Have you remoted before? Do you know how to remote? They're going to get peppered with questions about remoting. So think about it. You do not have to go to elaborate links to set up a remote shop. I am right now, what's behind me, there's a credenza we'll see a little bit later. I bought for $10 from a company who is moving. This table that I'm shaking on, sorry about that, the camera is shaking on and it's mounted on, cost me $15, and it's a very, very nice table. My lamp in the corner cost me about 50 cents, and I operated for years with an old door laid across two filing cabinets from my desk for many years of my remote life. So that you don't have to have a lot of money to be remoting, but you have to overcome and prove to a future employer that you're able to manage the conditions of remoting. Because I'll tell you what, slumping back and watching TV and Netflix and doing this and doing that and going out in the yard and walking the dog and it's very tempting, and it happens, and it takes you away from the productivity. What's happened during COVID-19 is employers have learned that their workforce is productive working out of their homes. And I'll tell you what, it is a privilege. First time I remoted, my oldest daughter was just born, and I got to see her. I got to see her take her first step. I got to see her, get up in the crib. I was there. I mean, there were so many cool things that this affords you. You get closer to your family. You can work flexible hours with some companies. They will let you, but you have to be a good manager of your conditions. I'm going to throw something out to college kids right now, please. I spoke quite a bit to colleges back in the 80s, and one of the professors I worked with at Ithaca College was dead set on trying to figure out how to get students to be more responsible for doing their own work, coming to class all the time, and getting the most out of their education that they could. I will tell you right now, anybody in college, take everything, every assignment, every condition, every situation you can as seriously as possible. Why? Because it will prepare you for managing yourself in the remote work environment once you're out on the loose. Trust me, it will. So just take that to heart. But remoting it's all kinds of different conditions with it. So one of the things we did is we'll talk about at the very end of this segment, we went to affiliates and we went to companies and said, hey, we're going to be starting this remote attitude, blah, blah, blah. Would you guys want to latch onto these podcasts, be product companies that would be with us as partners? And you're designed to ship right to the house. So we got some cool things that we'll talk about at the end of the show. And we're going to get more and more affiliates who cater to, servicing that person, that worker at home. So we'll have some fun with that too. But remoting is going to be a big part of what we're talking about in the future coming up. Then rebuilding, entrepreneur, solopreneurs, mompreneurs, you lump them all together. Again, like I said in the beginning, 500,000 maybe start each year, and about the same collapse. Why? Man, to the best of my analytical ability, 30 years looking at this, I only can come up with three things. And the three things that I keep coming back to are right back there: response, follow up, and follow through. It doesn't matter how well you can do your craft. It's not what drives people to leave you and never do business with you again as a young company. It has nothing to do with that. Generally, it has everything to do with how you do business. Do you return calls? Do you return emails? Do you do it promptly? Do you answer the 4 questions that are in the email? Do you listen to the customer? Do you do things that focuses on the customer? Are you sitting in their chair and seeing things from their end? Are you a promise keeper. Plenty of people, I've run into gazillions of them that are wonderful promise makers. But when the rubber needs to meet the road, and you hear me say that phrase quite a bit, maybe it's my old love affair with the muscle cars, I don't know. But when the rubber needs to meet the road, folks, that's where people fall on their sword. And that's why I think about the same amount of businesses that start every year go out of business, because it's not what they do, it's how they do it. Remember atmospherics? Remember Starbucks? If you didn't listen to it, rewind the clock real quick, right? Starbucks, in short, they don't serve coffee to people, they serve people coffee. It's about the experience, about the atmosphere. It's the same thing when you do what you do. So there are going to be all these people that start their own companies. And it's going to be scary for these people. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be like no other time that they've ever faced. But now's the time to do it. They're one of the 33 million people that lost their jobs. And they're looking at their nest egg and they're going, gosh, I got $80,000 I could devote to trying this. I'm 41. Should I do it? If I can pull this off, I run my own company for the next 70 years, I'm going to try it. And you know what? They go for it. They're going to go for it in numbers you've never seen before, that we've never seen before. And they're going to work out of the house, a lot of them, most of them. It's going to be an explosion like you've never seen. And I just want to invite you to spread the news of this podcast, spread the news of my book to people who are engaged in this. My book is 255 guardrails to make sure that you stay on the road going towards that tunnel, towards a happy customer, and you don't fall to a silent business killer strike, and you don't lose a customer that goes off the edge of a cliff, never to be found again. The most expensive thing we'll all face as small business owners is replacing a lost customer. It's too expensive. We spend too much time and energy acquiring customers. We do not want to lose them. My book it's designed for that. The silent business killer is real. The silent business killer, it feasts on the things you do wrong, not what you do, not how you do how you make the products or services. It's how you deliver them, how you service them, how you explain them, how you keep your promises or break your promises. That's the silent business killers feast on all those mistakes. And then, you're a casualty. You're out 80 grand and you're 43 years old and you got to go back into the workplace. I want to help. I want to do my best to help. My book's on Amazon, $18.95. You can buy it now direct on our website. We'll ship it to you. It's right on the website, $18.95. SimpleBiz360, timeless business tool. So from now until July 2nd, this is what we're going to be focused on. It's going to be exciting. It's tragic times. And I certainly hope that this curve has been flattened, that states start opening up, that in full force, and we get this economy, whipped up quickly. But man, it's still going to be hobbling along. It's like a four-legged chair on two legs. I mean, it's going to be rough. And it is. And that's just the reality of it. Nothing's going to just open up smooth, like putting icing on a cake anymore. It's not going to happen. So you got to get ready. You got to get your tools in order. You got to be able to compete at a high level. And that's what we're going to try to help you do. We really, really, really want to try to help you, better equip you for those things. Don't have all the answers, but we have some. So join us, stick with us. I hope you like the setting here. I'll be really conscientious on the table. I have my hands like almost tied under my chair right now so they don't go anywhere because I'm a hand guy. You know that my hands fly. But hey, we love the red, white, and blue. We're going to be coming to you from here for at least until July 2nd. So we're real excited. So, hey, the affiliates, man, I am so pumped up to announce that, one of the affiliates is my wife who, I'm in the cellar. She's on the corner office on the third floor. But Monica runs a business and she has taken our family down a path that I just am so fortunate for. And she has taken us down the path of Young Living Essential Oils. And my wife is a distributor for them. And she runs a website, Wellness wellnesslifeoils.com. You can go to my affiliates page on SimpleBiz360.com, find a link there that'll go right to Monica. But I'm just gonna turn the camera a little bit, and you can see right there on the back of that shelf. That's a premium starter kit for $165. You're gonna get 12 bottles of oil. You're gonna get a diffuser to diffuse your oil. And Monica's going to send you a little goodie bag that has some continuing education information on it. Again, it's $165. It gives you a 24% discount on future purchases. But I'll tell you, I was a reluctant participant to Young Living Oils 4 or 5 years ago. Just, oh God, this is voodoo stuff. I'm not going to do this. I travel with 18 bottles on every road trip I take right now. I mean, it's crazy. It is that good. I've come accustomed to it. They're wellness products, and they are really something that if you haven't explored it, I encourage you to reach out and touch Monica Mason, my wife, wellnesslifeoils.com. Again, you can find it on our homepage. Or find it on our affiliates page. Another really exciting company that has latched on with us is Vistaprint. I am so pumped up. I mean, Vistaprint, I'm like, I can't believe, Lauren O'Connor, thank you so much. Guys, I swear by Vistaprint. I've used Vistaprint for 5 years. I got thousands of dollars of postcards, business cards, all kinds of stuff from Vistaprint. They are just so easy to deal with. They are so professional. Customer service is top shelf. I've never had an issue. I had a wrinkle one time, and whoever I spoke to a couple of years ago worked the wrinkle out magically. And I mean, these guys are great. So if you go on to my website on the affiliates page, there's a new customer link there that will give us credit here at SimpleBiz360 for you signing up, and it gives you a sign-up discount and allows you to get going with Vistaprint. But they have templates. Everything is so easy. They just make it like, they take somebody who's not really computer savvy and just make the whole process of making business cards and so forth just easy. I do a ton of business cards and a ton of postcards, so latch onto them. Another company, so excited, is workboots.com. Forget the word boots for a second. These guys are out of Chesterfield, Missouri. Absolute phenomenal company. I've known them for about 8 years now. Andrew Hefner, thank you very much for this opportunity. But workboots.com is for any tradesperson, anybody who works at or anybody who wants lifestyle, rough and tumble apparel like that. These folks at workboots.com are professional, quick. If you ever want to see how to do e-commerce, you just take a trip over to their website and look at their colors, look at their wording, look at their font size, look at how it's laid out. They study this to nauseam, and they know how to present a website back to the public that it sparkles, and it's so easy. It's so friendly. They're growing like a weed. They've done such a great job, and they've got everything. They've got all kinds of apparel, boots, socks, you name it, the PPE equipment, they've got it. Workboots.com. The code, if you just go over there just straight, is SimpleBiz360, all in caps. So it's fully capped, SimpleBiz360, or you can go on through the link on our affiliates page and you can connect there. That'll give me instant credit with them, and you'll get a new customer discount there, and you're off and running. These guys are phenomenal. Another company, we've had her on, Fusion Gates, Donna Potter. She was our episode 23 guest. So her code for a really nice discount is you can go on there, and it's fusiongates.com. And her code for us is SB360E26. SB360E26, all caps. And again, she sells dog and child gates that have interchangeable panels. You want to make your home office, that remote work experience, feel a little better, feel just more, pleasant to the eye. I mean, she delivers harmonious lifestyles. She does. And these gates are cool. She's got a bunch of spring specials going on. Check it out. Again, that's fusiongates.com. And then Tommy Copper, man. I'm wearing a Tommy Copper shoulder-centric support shirt right now, short sleeve. I wear their products have been wearing their products every day of my life for 5 years. I got something on. I took a walk with my wife this morning. I had 4 pieces of Tommy Copper on. And I'm not even talking about sleeves or stuff that helps, achy joints. I mean, Tommy Copper, TOMMIECOPPER.com, TommyCopper.com, the original in copper apparel, and just phenomenal. It's compression apparel that it's just wellness again, magnified. I mean, you're wearing your wellness. So we're really, really excited about all the cast of people that are taking the ride with us and taking the ride with you too, trying to help the remote worker, get a better quality of life, have a little more wellness, get things delivered right to the house. So we're very excited about that. So last thing I want to do today is I'm going to, there's so many rock and roll bands that came out of Jersey. I mean, there just are. And one of the bands that I'm going to focus on is a band that I've kind of acquired a taste for. They didn't knock me off my feet when I first heard them, but I've really acquired a taste, and they're really phenomenal artists. Bon Jovi. And Bon Jovi out of Sayreville, New Jersey. I mean, anybody who was in a band at one time called the Atlantic City Expressway, I gotta love these guys because I lived off the Atlantic City Expressway for 5 years of my life. But Bon Jovi, they came out with a single in 2006 that it kind of fits today. Who Said You Can't Go Home? Actually, they won a Grammy for it, and they were the only rock band in history to go to the #1 spot on the country charts with this tune. They did it. Really just a great tune. And you know what? It's about home. We're home. We're going to be home workers, so many of us now. We're going to be at the remote work situation. So it's just a really cool song, and it will appear up in the screen, up on the upper right-hand corner. Sometimes it's hard to pick up on mobile phones, but it's there. Lastly, I just want to mention to you, Till Valhalla. I don't know if you're familiar with them. There's a couple of their shirts over there. I'm going to be wearing Till Valhalla shirts. I have 5 of them. I'm going to be wearing them for 5 straight episodes. And why do I like these guys? I've asked Cory Shaffer to be on the show. They're considering it. He's a little busy right now, but he's swamped. But Cory does a couple cool things. First of all, it's Mission 22. They help all those ex-military professional and people that are in the first responder community to help them fight the demons that often strike our first responders and our ex-military. It's just not an easy profession to be in, and they do a wonderful job and try to help with suicide prevention. And that's big. And I know, again, struggle with demons, I know the deal. So loves to do that. The other thing I just love about what he does is, a name, I think he says a name dies the last time it's spoken. So they sell shirts and take donations, and I think it's 20% of these go towards putting these plaques out that allow families of fallen heroes to get plaques of their fallen loved ones with their name on it, and they get to hang up forever, and that name's never forgotten. And that's kind of, when I dip back into my Dale Carnegie affinity, Dale knew that the person's name was very, very important to him, and those families want to remember the names of their loved ones. And Cory Shaffer and his folks down in Florida do a wonderful job. I certainly hope he comes on to the show. He really can't be an affiliate because, it's a donation-based type of thing. So I'm going to be wearing his shirts. And hey, go onto his website and check it out. And he's got some great USA type shirts too. So anyway, guys, that's it. It's a new horizon, new rapids. It's here. So thank you for joining us. I hope we can be beneficial. You can get NJAB and NJAB 2 if you need to get into it right away. Lickety split. Order as soon as we hang up, and we'll ship that stuff lickety split to you. So thank you once again. And for all of those who are running your own businesses, hold on to your sand. It's your profit. You know that. We say it all the time. Who pays the bills? Happy customers. Put smiles on those customer faces. Let them transfer their smile and pay it forward to someone else and tell them about your company. And just be safe out there. Keep the shiny side up and just be safe, please. Thank you so much for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks so much. God bless you.